Selenium IDE is an open source tool used by developers to create and run automated test cases for web applications. This is done by adding a browser extension to your browser. And the way that you use it is by giving Selenium a basic URL to begin with, and from there you can add a list of commands to run. These commands can vary from open, close, as well as click. There's also conditional statements. And the way you add a command is by going to the last row and using this list. So if I were to choose the click command, it asks for a set of target values to find on my target website. Some of the other features are the ability to run all tests, run current tests, and skip over commands that are not executing properly or that you do not want to execute at the time. You can also change the speed at which they're to execute and record your tests executing.
Now let's do our 3 test cases with Selenium. As you can see, the web page that we're targeting is Amazon. So we enter Selenium ID with the extensions button in Chrome. So we select that, and what do we want to do? We want to record a new test in a new project, so we hit that, click that, and then we want to put a project name. So we put Amazon, then we hit OK, and then as a base URL, we put the URL of Amazon, and then we start recording. As you can see, that is Amazon. So as our first test cases, what we're going to do is look for watches. So in the search bar, we're going to put watch, and then we'll search for that. As you can see, we click on one watch, a Ferrari Men's Pizza quartz, and then we just, at the bottom right, you can see Selenium ID is recording. And then as a test name, we put test1. Okay, you will see all the commands that we did and the recording. We stop the recording, and then let's run the test to see if it did what we're expecting. So Selenium ID types watch and then selects the watch that we were trying to go to. And then all the commands are shown. And now we'll do the second test, which would demonstrate conditionals in Selenium ID. So we're going to add an if statement. So we're going to do the same process as in the first test case. We're going to look for a watch, we select the watch, and then what we're going to do is if the price is less than a certain number, we're going to add it to the cart. So first, the command to do that, we want to store a store text, and we want to put the value as price. Okay.
Then we look for the current price that we want to find by going to select target in page, and then we select the 128 that is corresponding to the price. Then we add the item to the cart and we close the tab.
So we stop recording and then we'll try to run the test to see if that worked. So, okay, first we're going to add the if statement so that if the price is less than a certain value, let's say, so we put price as the value, and then if the value is less than 200, we're going to add it to the cart as we did before. So we're going to, since we already have an add to cart button, we're going to click that if the value is less than 200. So we're expecting that it actually goes to the cart. So we're going to run this test and see if Selenium really adds it to the cart. So Selenium ID goes with the same process as before, searches for watch, and then clicks on the watch that we went through before, and then it's supposed to add it to the cart. Now let's go to, let's see Selenium ID, and then we'll see that all the commands, so everything was passed, and everything is in green. So now let's duplicate this second test case, and let's try to do the third test case. So now the difference in this, okay, let's name the test case as test 3. We're going to change the sign. So instead of a less than sign, we'll do a more than sign. So we're expecting that now the watch will not be added to the cart due to the conditional. Now Selenium IDE goes to Amazon, and then it will search for a watch as per the previous test cases. Then it selects the watch, and then we're expecting that it isn't added to the cart. And as you can see, all test cases are passed, and the click command wasn't reached since the if statement was false. So it goes to end, and then it closes. So that's the end for the pre-test case.
Hello, everyone. So I'll be going over some Selenium alternatives. Here I have open Catalan Recorder, and I'll also be going over UI Vision. UI Vision and Catalan Recorder are very similar to Selenium in the sense that you can run tests. There's different test suites. You can have different scripts, commands, targets, and values, as you can see here on UI Vision as well. The difference between these two applications and Selenium is that they each come with their unique features. For example, in Catalan Recorder, you can run tests in real time alongside other people. So say that you're working in a team and you all want to see the tests going on at the same time, you're able to do that. Also, in UI Vision, what's unique about it is that you're able to read anything on the screen. So you can read a text, an image, you can click on anything. It also reads input from your keyboard. And both of these applications are available on Chrome as an extension, and they're both completely free. And yeah, that's going to be it for this review. One last thing I'd like to add about Catalan is that you don't have to have a project open to run any tests. You're able to just create a test automatically here, and you can just open it in the background. Also, you can open a Selenium project inside of Catalan, and it'll work completely fine.
On to critical assessment of features and usability. So Selenium is an open source automated testing framework for web applications. It comes with a suite of tools that provide many different features. So the first tool is the Selenium WebDriver. It's a programming interface that supports many different programming languages, allowing you to run Selenium scripts on various browsers and supports multiple operating systems. It allows you to run a browser as if you were a user on a local or a remote machine. So the next tool is the Selenium IDE. The Selenium IDE is a basic graphical user interface for the Selenium WebDriver. It's installed as a basic browser extension, and it allows for us to get up and running quickly, testing many various web applications. So the last tool is the Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid makes use of the Selenium WebDriver, and it allows for parallel test execution, which is running multiple tests on multiple machines at the same time, greatly reducing test execution time. However, Selenium does have some limitations, has no support for testing desktop applications. It's very limited support for testing images, so you have to install external libraries, and it has no reporting capabilities. Although it does have these limitations, Selenium is still a fun and easy to use tool. It's very good for anyone testing web applications.